Well, we're back out at the farm today. We've got another little project to get done. We're in one of our food plots, and the past several years we went corn on corn on corn. This is one of our original plots that we have never worked. So we're coming in today with the Firminator, and we're going to plant some soybeans. What I did in preparation for this is about 3 weeks ago I came in with a burn down application of just Roundup, sprayed it with my side-by-side. And we're going to work this once. We've got the disc angles on the Firminator set at 20 degrees. We've got it slightly pointing forward. We're aggressively working the soil. And then our next pass, we'll put our soybeans in, and we'll go back and we'll take our disc angles to 5 degrees. We'll level the Firminator just a little bit to put some weight on the cultipackers. And we're going to pack that seed into this ground. We're running that Firminator just fast enough so that the disc blades are kicking enough soil up that the beans are falling into that, and then the packer's going back over the top of it, so it couldn't be any better. We've got a rain coming in tonight, and tomorrow these beans should be up in a couple days, especially with this heat. We're in the center of our farm. It's basically just a draw, and I've got switchgrass all the way around it. And we've got this food plot here, which is about 2 acres, and then directly across the creek we've got another plot that's about 3 acres. That's where we had the redneck blind last fall, and we had our winter annual food plot, and that's what we plan to do over there again. So we're going to have soybeans on this side, winter annuals on the other side. That plot we hunt with anything west wind. This plot will hunt with anything south wind. So I'll have probably a Moultrie camera right up there at that end of the food plot that's going to be monitoring any deer coming into this one, and one over there monitoring what deer are coming to that one. So at any time of year, if the deer switch off to soybeans, or if they switch off to a winter annual food plot, we'll be able to tell, we'll be able to adjust our hunting schedule and our hunting tactics to get in and kill one of these deer. So we're not necessarily planting this food plot for a summertime forage. Yes, the deer will eat it, but that's not our main goal. Our main goal is to get these deer here during the hunting season so we can kill them. So I've got an idea, and this is maybe a little bit too outside of the box, maybe a little bit too much micromanaging, but it's something that I want to try. If you remember back in March, Chase and I went into a little stand in the timber on our farm here in Illinois, and we killed out a bunch of honeysuckle, and we girdled some trees. We're creating sunlight on the forest floor. If you go in there right now, there's a bunch of that honeysuckle bush that's coming back in it. So what we're going to do is we're going back in there, we're going to spray that bush honeysuckle that's coming back with Roundup to knock it back. But the problem is we still have a void area of anything that is probably not going to be useful for anything. So what we're doing today, and it's kind of weird for us because normally we're going in and we're doing stuff that is tried and true management practices, but this is kind of something new that we're going to be testing out. We're taking this switchgrass, we're digging up plugs. You've seen plugs for sale. Normally a plug is just going to be like one sprig of it. It's only going to be about this big. But this area that we're in right now, we've got a pipeline coming through the farm, and they're getting ready to bury this, and they're going to destroy this perfect, beautiful stand of switchgrass that we have here. So what we're going to do is we're pulling these plugs, and we're going to plug them into the woods where we've got those sunlight patches. Like I said, we'll be able to split this up, each one of these probably into 3 or 4 pieces. And that's the cool thing about switch, is it's naturally a bunch grass. So this is like one plant, maybe 2. So we'll just come in and we'll split it there and split it there just like a pie. And voila, we've got 4 different clumps. And we'll go in there and we're gonna grid this out and put it in there. Maybe this works, maybe it don't. I think it's just trial and error, but you never know until you try it. It'll be kind of cool if it actually works, because we'll kind of make, you know, some people will say, well, this switchgrass doesn't belong in the woods. And it doesn't necessarily, but if it works, and it works as the bedding area like I would like, it opens up possibilities to do more of that in the farm. So we're gonna have, hopefully, a bedding area established in the first year. We're gonna let that switchgrass go ahead and do its thing, and then next spring I'll come back in and I'll plug in oak trees in there. The switchgrass will act as a buffer or a protection from the deer, and it'll also be a trainer to make it come straight up. But also, the number one key, we're gonna have an established bedding area in the woods where we want it. That's the idea anyway. We don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try. Trial and error. This is the entrance to our farm, and we always park up here, and all we've got is fescue. Now it's dead fescue. What I did was I sprayed this about 3 weeks ago with just Roundup Power Max, quart to the acre, and it's got it torched pretty good. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna plant switchgrass in this. It's gonna kind of add a visual and sound buffer from the front of the farm. Also adds bedding. You know, anything you can do to add habitat is gonna be good, and anything's better than fescue. So we're gonna plant switchgrass right here. It's about a 3 or 3.5 acre patch, what I call a patch. It just starts at the front and kind of rolls around back here. In years past, we have done a buffer strip around this. It just hasn't done very good. So we're gonna try a little different technique this year. We sprayed it, we're burning it off now to get this thatch away. We're exposing bare soil. We'll come in with a chemical application of atrazine as a residual to keep the weeds down. It won't bother the switchgrass, and hopefully we'll have a good solid stand of switchgrass this year, and then next year we'll have, you know, a 6 foot tall switchgrass that's gonna be hiding every deer that can fit in it. I don't know.
When you're drilling beans, controlled.
It's a controlled spill.
Controlled spill, yeah. Yeah, well, here they are. They're in the ground. We drilled them with the Firminator, tore it up, put the beans in the ground. We got a few beans on top, but I was always told that when you plant beans, when you're drilling beans, if you've got a few beans on top, why, you're doing it right. It's just kind of a controlled spill when you're drilling beans. So here we go.
Thankful for this land and the life that it provides. See, the measure of a man is what he leaves behind. Oh, take what you need and pass it on down. Oh, give a little back to this sacred ground. Your own sacred